Hey, what is going on, everyone? It is awesome to see you all again. Today I have another lesson about a very confusing set of words. We are going to talk about memory, remember, and remind. A lot of students confuse these words, and today I'm going to explain what they mean and how you can use them correctly. Let's get started. First, let's talk about remember and remind. Remember as a verb, that is the opposite of forget. If you remember something, that means that you correctly know about or can recall an experience from your past. For example, my family went to California when I was 3, but I was so young I don't remember that trip. So it can be about an event from the past, but it can also be about an action, something that you need to do. For example, I need to remember to buy milk from the store after work today. Remind as a verb, that means to do something so someone else does not forget about something that they need to do. So that example we had earlier, I need to remember to buy milk from the store after work today. Let's pretend that while I was at work, my sister sends me this message. She says, "Don't forget to buy milk later." Here, she is reminding me to buy the milk. Now let's talk about memory. The biggest difference between remember and remind and memory is that memory is a noun. It is not a verb. There are several different definitions for the word memory, but here are the two most common. First, a memory is a specific event or situation from your past that you remember. For example, I loved visiting my grandparents when I was a child. I have so many fun memories with them. Memory can also be general. It can mean a person's ability to remember things. If you forget things often, you have a bad memory. If you have a really good memory, you remember things very well and you almost never forget anything. My brother has a great memory. He can talk to someone once and still remember their name 10 years later. So memory is a noun, but there is a verb form of this word. Memorize. To memorize something, this means to study or practice something, usually many times, so that it is in your memory and you will remember it in the future. For example, I try to memorize the definitions of 5 new words each week. This is a very common word when you're talking about studying. Okay, now let's practice. For each blank in these sentences, you should add memory, memorize, remind, or remember. Some of the sentences are in the past tense, so try to use the correct verb tense when you fill these in as well. Okay, here are your answers. My grandpa doesn't have a very good memory. This would be that general definition, his ability to remember things. My boss just reminded me to send that email. Maybe he said, "Hey, don't forget to send the email before you leave." I wish I remembered more about my childhood. Getting robbed when I was 13 is one of my worst memories. Here, memory would be the specific event from the past that you remember. And then finally, I went to a Christian school. We had to memorize one new prayer every week for our religion class. Okay, hopefully that makes sense. If you have any questions, you can always leave them in the comments. And if you haven't hit that subscribe button, you should definitely do that because I put out new lessons every single week. Thanks again for watching, and I look forward to seeing you guys in the next video. Later.